Hey guys, in this episode I cut out the starboard side of the hull and I get it all but finished. And I'll make a little discovery at the aft section of the boat just behind the rear bulkhead. I'm going to give the plasma a shot, and if it doesn't work I'm going back to the oxyacetylene. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this week's video. Thanks for watching. Cheers. Hey guys, today is the day. I've got a compressor over here and I've got the plasma over here and I've got power, and I'm pretty excited about this one. So you get the gist by now. I'm cutting all of that out. It's got to go. So I'm basically just going to start bit by bit and rip out what I can. I'm excited to give this plasma a shot today to see where we end up. I don't know how it's going to go through this crap in here, but we'll see. Okay, I've just had a short burst with the plasma. A few things, nowhere near as fast as the oxy. In fact, it's probably only a third the speed, if not a quarter. Good thing though, less fumes. The oxy tends to burn everything around it, whereas this just seems to burn just what it's looking at, which I thought was really good. Maybe the machine's a bit too small for what I'm trying to make it do, but I wouldn't have thought so with it being 6mm. It's not very good for just hacking apart. So for now I'm just going to go back to the old oxy set. I'm going to take the needle gun out, clean up where I want to cut first, and then I'll run through it with the oxy, and it should be a lot faster. Alrighty, here we go. I don't have any hearing protection with me, so this thing's going to hurt like a bitch. I should have just got that thing up and running from the start. Blow back. Now if you're wondering what happened just then, I blew a hole in my oxy line. Normally it wouldn't be too bad a thing, but I don't have any fucking tools here to change it with. So we'll just see how I go. So basically they screw on. So there's a nice long barb there with a screw thread on it. And then there's a ferrule that just slips over the top of the hose. Got your hose there. So what you do is you put that on, and then you wind that up, and it seals it off. But as I said, there's my split just there. But I don't have anything to cut the hose with except a chipping hammer. And a blunt one at that, so we'll see how it goes. I don't believe it, it did the job. That's bullshit. I'm happy, but that's bullshit. Alright, so now we just slip that ferrule back over the end again. It's got an internal thread on it. Just give this a bit of a wet. I know, yuck. Anyway. And there's only one port in the storm, you do what you got to do. And just wind your torch down onto it. There's a few things I've got to remember to do. Got to remember to bring some spanners with me, some screwdrivers, and a few other little bits and odds and sods. I hope that one doesn't develop a split in it too. Last thing I need is a little bit of a fire coming out of my acetylene hose. Oh, looks like I've destroyed that tip. So I went and got myself a newish torch. The other one, turns out it wasn't the tip, it was the seat that's inside there. It's a shame to put a brand new tip into a hacking up job. So I'm doing pretty much more of the same. Just cutting out this material and leaving basically nothing behind. I'm going to tackle an area down near the rear fuel tank here. It looks a bit greasy looking. You can see just there how it kind of browns off compared to everything else, and it's a bit dark. I'm just going to pierce a hole in there and see what I come up with. So the valves on the old torch, they were quite loose, and every time I bumped them it had turned the torch off. So this one, they're quite firm. Oh wow, nice firm. I actually missed this on camera just then. I was just cutting this plate out and it appears that there was a bit of a gas build up in behind there. And as I stopped cutting, turned around and gave out an almighty or I won't make that sound again. It must have had a bit of methane build up in there or a bit of fuel build up or something, and as I was heating it, it's exploded out. I didn't do it while I had the torch on it. I didn't do it until I actually stopped cutting. So I don't understand. Yeah, I'm just debatable whether I want to continue cutting it the second or whether I just want to leave it for a bit. I might continue cutting. I'll just cut that panel out. We'll go from there. I'll leave the camera running just in case something happens, so people at home know what happened to me. like it's just a bit of fuel. Okay, so in cutting that hole out, what I've discovered is that back section of the boat's filled with concrete. That's this here. So that was an old fuel tank. I can still see a tiny little bit of fuel right up the very back there. I can see a baffle. I can see a baffle on the side. You won't be able to see it for the smoke. I'll come back later when that's all cleared out. But looks like I'm up for a bit of a job. So the stern tube goes through there. When I say a bit of a job, I knew I was going to have to cut that wall out anyway. So what this will give me the opportunity to do is to put an inspection hole in there, or a manhole. I can cut all that plate out, put a nice inspection plate in there. That'll allow me to get access through to the rear from this section. So just cutting that hole out, you can see in the bottom there I've just found a bit of concrete. It's an old fuel tank. They've just concreted inside, built a fuel tank around it, and then they haven't capped the concrete or anything. They've just run the fuel straight off the top. I need to chisel all that concrete out so that I can replace the stern tube. So what I need to do from here is I need to finish cutting this stringer out on the opposite side, and then I want to take that wall out, rebuild all that wall, and then I want to put an inspection plate in there, and then do the stern tube at the same time. So a little bit of a job there. You're going to need to get a wriggle on because I want to get that done over the Christmas break. So we've got 2 weeks off at Christmas and I want to hook in and get that job done. So I think in the coming week I'll tackle this other side. So this area here is the area underneath the engine. It's pretty gunky from all the years and years and years of oil, diesel, grease, you name it, just accumulating under the engine and never getting cleaned out. I'll give you some idea of how thick the actual rust is, or gunk. It's just gunk. There you have it. This is going to take a bit more to do than that last one. The last one was pretty bad. Yeah, this one's got a fair bit of water in there, a fair bit of rust, so it's just going to take me a bit of time. That's half of an engine room cut out. That's the forward bulkhead of the engine room. There's my stand that the boat's sitting on at the moment for the forward. I don't want to cut that bulkhead out just yet because the boat's sitting on that stand. So the stringer I've just cut out looks like this, or should look like this. So I've taken it out now. And basically I've cut it off sort of 200 millimetres away from that front wall. Alrighty, time's come to get out of here again.